is a very fun map. I certainly like Mecha Base myself, but I think we're just gonna have to kind of see how the dice roll, which sub map we're gonna be ending up on. We are just waiting on the teams to get settled, give us the ready signal, and then we will be good to go. But Shy Guy, we do have a few moments here. What do you think we might expect to see out of these two teams moving forward?
You know, I mean, it's going to be very sub-map dependent here on Busan in particular. You know, when you're looking at, Sanctuary, there's a lot more open space to work with. Those snipers come into play very, very readily. Mecha base plays entirely differently. I mean, it becomes a much more close quarters style. No matter what we're going to be seeing, I think the tank lineups are going to be pretty set. We're going to be seeing a lot of double shield. That's been the case for a while, but there are opportunities on Busan in particular to perhaps change things up if a team really wants to lean in that direction.
Yeah, if I'm being sincere, I've kind of lost all hope of seeing too much of an Orisa Sigma changeup ever since we saw Six Guns get their loss in the losers bracket yesterday. I was really excited to see some changes, but now I feel like you are right. We're going to be seeing a little bit more of the standard Sig Ori combination.
Yeah, the meta just wasn't ready, or Overwatch just wasn't ready for the Six Gun special. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to see them get a little bit more of an opportunity to shake things up, to give us a new look, but it doesn't work out for them. They fall to Star Esports there yesterday. We'll see what these two teams have to bring to the table. I always love getting to see the new blood in these tournaments. We have a decent amount of turnover in this one in particular, in terms of getting some new faces in here, and these are two teams that I'm interested to find out what they're all about.
Yeah, certainly. I think this is going to be a good opportunity to show their mettle. Obviously, neither team going to want to lose this one, because that will eject them from the tournament in perhaps some of the quickest game times, or not the quickest game times, but the quickest tourney times. Obviously, you take 2 losses and you're out. This would be, I believe, the second loss for either of these teams. So someone's going home. Not necessarily certain who it's going to be quite yet. I guess we'll just have to see how the scores break down there, Shy Guy.
Yeah, indeed we will. And that's just always kind of the thing that you are avoiding. You want to avoid most in a tournament like this is losing those 2 games super quick. I mean, at least last week, Team Money put up a pretty good fight in their first round matchup. They took 2 maps off of Celtic Cross Academy, so they were at least able to get a few more maps in there. Atlas took the 3-0. You never want to be exiting super quick, but now we are finally ready to get underway here on Busan. It's going to be Mecha Base to start us off.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing a little bit more of that claustrophobic close quarters engagement style. And who knows, for the next 27 seconds, I am perfectly legally allowed, in fact, to have optimism for something other than Sig Ori.
That's absolutely true. I'm afraid your hopes are probably going to be dashed rather quickly, but right now we have hope, and that's all you could really ask for. We'll be getting to see a little bit of a preview of those hero picks in just a moment, as soon as this timer wears down, and then we'll be underway.
Yeah, we certainly will. And as that timer comes online, it looks like, if the comps are to be believed, which there's about 30 seconds where the teams can swap around, feel out what they're greased up in the joints on. Phoenix going into that Reinhardt, it's a change. I'm liking it. I look forward to it. If it goes through, that is, Shaggy.
I believe in it. Here on Mecha Base, it makes a lot of sense. You can get the Reinhardt pretty quickly into range to start doing damage with that hammer. It still kind of fills a similar role to the Sigma with that secondary shield. So I definitely think it's a possibility. Indeed, it will be Phoenix rolling out with the big hammer guy.
Yeah, additionally, we're going to be seeing the Maze come out. Not a lot of surprise there. The halt's coming in, trying to get some Fire Strike damage off the back of Phoenix, but it's not going to quite work. That Hanzo really taking some angles played by, again, to just try to find anything and something. And another halt into a Fire Strike is going to build up a lot of charge for Phoenix. The Immortality Field's coming out for both teams. Nobody really contesting point yet, but DPS down for both sides. And right now it's looking like Team Money a little bit on the back foot here, as they are suffering a few more losses. However, they are the ones to position on the point first, or rather their tank players are the first ones to position, as everybody else has been picked up. And right now it will be the Sigma, the last one to fall.
And there you just kind of see, as a result of the different compositions here, it just allows Atlas to get so much more aggressive with that Reinhardt. Team Money really having to back off the entire time they're taking that fight, and eventually they can't really retreat any further. They have to give up ground, and they do lose the point first.
Yeah, they will, and we're about to move into our next engagement, and a nice Earth Shatter coming in from the Reinhardt, played by Phoenix. Gets the pin on the Flabberjack, making sure that Immortality Field cannot come back out, and the Mei getting separated off Osias. Last one to fall, at least before the retreat, but Aster not going to be letting them be the last, as they do drop themselves.
And that's something that you've got to be very aware of when you are playing against the Reinhardt. The Orisa has to be very careful with her shield placement. Can't be affording mistakes like that. Phoenix capitalizes on the flank, and they are off to a great start here as Atlas.
Yeah, and we're going to be hearing both windows come online, Roses and Flabberjack dropping the Immortality Fields as well. However, now it looks like Team Money going to be the ones to get an early lead. However, now numbers are evening out, especially as that Blizzard coming online. Aster gets frozen. Doesn't really seem to be too much of a hassle, though. It's just going to be the Orisa on the side of Atlas, manning that point, but not for long, as that point slowly gets converted. Reinhardt looking like he wants to contest, but he will end up backing off.
Yeah, that's going to be necessary there. And, a great fight there starts with a strong window from Flabberjack, and they capitalize on it brilliantly. We're throwing out so much damage in that situation, and it allows them to get the advantage they need. The Blizzard doesn't quite do enough for Atlas.
Yeah, not quite this time around. We're going to be seeing a few ults come online, but not the Transcendence, as Kitty King takes that arrow to the head. The Blizzard, however, does come out, and right now it is just going to be Phoenix focused out, burned down dangerously low, fatally low, in fact, again taken down while burning down that main tank player. And with this, it is just the Mei trying to contest point, using their cooldowns, no ice wall, no ice form. Lucid taking down their counterpart in quick fashion because of that. Then Osias also going to be frozen, or excuse me, the Sigma going to be frozen, played by Dusk. However, they will be backed out by the Supercharger, as well as the Transcendence coming in from the side of Kitty King, giving their team the healing they might need here. This is all stall coming in that is happening for the side of Team Money. This is great for them. They continue to build up this ult percentage here, Shy Guy.
And they're going to turn it around on the end of this fight. Atlas thought they had it in the bag, but Flabberjack and Dusk managed to stay alive. The Immortality Field was as good as you can hope for in that situation. He buys enough time for Kitty King to get back with the Transcendence, and they turn that fight on its head.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience coming out there, and we're going to be seeing Team Money take a little bit more of a forward hold as we see the side of Atlas take the underway path, trying to just get on the point. And they're going to flip it rather early. No contest even really coming out from Team Money, but that doesn't stop them from getting the kills, as again, puts an arrow to the head of Nuke Llama, and it's just going to be the Mei contesting. The Reinhardt getting the pin, going to be driving them off the field. The Sigma has to pop that ult just to keep alive. That is a costly ult to use just for sustain.
And I'm not so sure that was really necessary at that point. He was pinned off the map. He would have been able to get back fairly quickly, especially with the Lucio able to, or sorry, not the Lucio, they don't have one. He would have been able to get back into the fight and have that crucial ultimate for the final defense.
Yeah, and another early kill coming out again onto Roses. The Baptiste no longer having an Immort field, but the Earth Shatter strikes true. Osias going to be frozen, pinned, Earth Shattered to the ground. Everybody hitting the floor like the dinosaur is back in town. And with that, it doesn't matter though, as Team Money continues to get the kills here. They cannot be stopped right now.
No, they can't. It's going to be Team Money coming back in this one. They started off a little bit slowly, but they make some excellent individual plays. They turn things around here on Mecha Base, and they really take control on Busan.
Yeah, so far they have a pretty good starting run here. A little bit of percentage given up, and by a little bit I mean about 70% given up to their opponents in Atlas, but overall they look unshaken, unfazed, and ready to go into the next map, which is going to be Sanctuary.
Okay, and this is going to force a little bit of a change up coming through for the side of Atlas. They can't really run the Reinhardt here on Sanctuary again, so it's going to be Phoenix swapping over to that Orisa now as they get back to kind of their traditional roles. Mikey on the Sigma, clearly the off-tank player, but was just kind of forced to play Orisa in that lineup, so now they'll be back to something perhaps a little bit more comfortable, as we've just got mirror matches in terms of the compositions.
Yeah, not a whole lot rocking the boat here. Dusk using that shield, moving it very far forward. Going to be taking a bit of damage off onto it. However, might not be great for the mid-fight. Nuklama getting dangerously low immediately right out of the gate. An Accretion Rock trying to come in off the back of a halt. Doesn't really seem to find much. And Immort Field looks like it got misplaced, mistossed perhaps. And Rose is not going to have that up for this next engagement. And it's going to be Team Money looking like they're going to be taking an early presence on point. The Maywall coming up, really trying to be a burden from the side of Osias. Doesn't really find too much kills off the back end, but the kills do come through for Phoenix, who does get, again, meaning that Hanzo burst damage not going to be online for too long, or for a little bit, actually. Lucid getting taken down in kind, and right now this is just a continued stall fight, and it looks like Team Money has the opportunity here, but the window coming in from the BAP. Roses drops as soon as that window opens up, meaning that amplified healing not going to be a factor in this fight, and despite how this fight is going, it is still so back and forth again on the Tracer just to secure the point onto Mikey and the kill.
Okay, that's a heads-up swap there that really kind of allows him to get back into the fight very quickly, allows them to kind of clean up in the chaos of that kind of scrappy back and forth engagement, and it gets Team Money on the board here on Sanctuary. We'll see how much value he can get now that they really know that the Tracer is there, now that they're ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like any swaps are coming out. Again, the initiation looking like they're going to be taking a left side engagement from the side of Atlas. They're going to be pushing in hard, the Accretion combo coming in, but Mikey ready with that Sigma shield to come out. It's going to be Styx popping that dragon coming out, and the grab flux going to be dropped right onto an Immort Field. Gets a lot of uptime. Flabberjack and Roses both losing theirs around the same time. And the grab flux this time going to be forcing out Kitty King's Transcendence as well as the Blizzard. However, no kills coming in quite yet. Mikey frozen. Doesn't take too much damage off the back just yet. Kills going back and forth, but it's mostly fourth as Team Money's going to continue to hold.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes like a dam breaking there. That incredibly long fight, just holding out, waiting and waiting and waiting for the ultimates and the cooldowns to come. And as soon as that first kill comes through, as soon as the supports are dealt with, the rest of Atlas just kind of fall by the wayside. They're gonna have to come back in here with this Blizzard as their main engagement tool, as their way to set up a fight. But it can be hard to find value when you're dead.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Lucid going to be having that Blizzard, looking to see if they're going to be engaging with it. Mikey getting brought dangerously low again, really doing their job of pestering the backline, pestering anybody who takes their eyes off them for just a minute. The Immort Field going out for the side of Team Money. The window coming up for the side of Atlas. Can they find any value off of it? No, instead Nuklama are going to get the pile driven into the ground. The Blizzard now coming out in combo with the Dragons. No Immort Field to save the side of Flabberjack. Doesn't look like it really matters as kills once again flowing in favor of Team Money. It's going to be just a few members. We are getting down to the bare bones here. Mostly a tank battle on point. A little bit of May to help out from the side of Osias. And with that, it looks like it's just going to be a little bit of Nuklama stall. And with that, overtime going to be ticking down.
Just an impressive performance here from Team Money throughout Busan. They dominate on Sanctuary from start to finish, really. And, you know, an excellent play from Dusk there in the final fight. He opens things up with the Gravitic Flux, really buys them time to get their respawns back, to get the opening pick and deny the value from that Zenyatta. So excellent play coming out from the off tank of Team Money so far, and they find themselves up after one map.
Yeah, so Team Money going to be in the good spot here. As we know, the one up, a little bit more preferable than being one down. We do have a little bit of not a pause, but a momentary lapse of breath as Nuklama going to be opting to restart their game, make sure everything is working in tip-top order. We want to see that great Overwatch gameplay after all.
Yeah, I mean, we want the best performance possible out of all these players, and you know, so far so good for the side of Team Money. They're able to deal with Nuklama and company, so we'll see if that reset might, you know, get him back in the right frame of mind at the very least going into map 2. But you know, Atlas now find themselves in the situation of having to fight from behind, and we'll see just how they kind of want to approach that. You saw the attempts at a couple different lineups there in terms of the tank play here on Busan, not really working out in either situation for them. So we'll see what changes need to come out for them to start making a comeback.
Yeah, and here, Shy Guy, let me ask you a question regarding these teams, or more so regarding Team Money. Do you think there's any map from what we've seen from them so far that you think they might be a little shakier on, that they might want to go ahead and outright ban because they are in the ban phase?
You know, that's honestly very difficult to say, just given what we've seen out of them so far. I can't really make any distinction there, because they're just really playing kind of the standard looks right now, the kind of stuff that you can see played on nearly any map in this meta at the moment. So, and they're doing it to a pretty impressive level, I would say. So if you're Atlas, perhaps the idea just needs to be, where can we make a change based on kind of our play? Where do we feel comfortable? What can we do differently about this so far, rather than trying to adapt to your opponents? Because I don't really think they've given you a lot to work with so far in that regard.
Yeah, and one of the, in my opinion, one of the biggest maps to kind of change things up, it's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar has been banned, and it looks like Atlas is going to be opting for King's Row, so maybe not so much the shakeup, as we know Sig Ori still fairly common on first point attack and defense.
No, that's definitely true. I mean, and the Mei Hanzo is still going to be quite the DPS duo on this map as well. So I don't think this is going to kind of force Team Money into, or I guess out of their comfort zone, like we maybe thought that Atlas could try. But perhaps it's just about getting to a map where they feel confident. And for a lot of teams, King's Row is that. It's a comfort zone for everyone. Everybody plays this map. It's kind of, I would venture a guess that it's the most popular map in kind of semi-pro Overwatch right now. Everyone is ready to play this map.
I certainly think that is a fair statement. And for those of you at home who may not have caught it, we are going to be keeping the same color scheme, so it will be Team Money on the defense to start. That being said, it of course means that Atlas will be up on the chopping block to attack first, 10 seconds before these rosters come online, and I can't wait, Shy Guy.
Yeah, I can't imagine that we're going to see a lot of changes. My question is just, do they try to run the Reinhardt here again? It's definitely viable on King's Row. And whether they want to go in that direction remains to be seen, but I definitely think it's something that Atlas could do if that's kind of their preference.
Yeah, and I see this comp, I get excited because I see the Wrecking Ball, I get excited because I see the Widowmaker, but then I see Sticks on the Torbjorn for the offense, and I know, okay, they're not locked in yet. There's nothing about this attack phase that is absolute yet. Always a good reminder, but of course we're going to be seeing Team Money on the very standard Sig Ori, Bap Zen, Hanzo Mei, so not a lot shaking the boat there.
No, for them, it's just a situation of why would you change what has been working so far? They're going to force Atlas to kind of overcome them at this point, and Atlas just going to try to do it in the most standard way possible. They think they can match up against Team Money head-to-head with these compositions.
Yeah, and Atlas already taken some pretty good rotations in here. It looks like they're trying to push through Hotel. They're having a little bit of time. That Hanzo played by, again, just being a little bit of an enforcer through those Hotel sight lines, trying to use those Storm Arrows, pressure down anybody. Doesn't look like anybody's taking a whole lot of damage, but Nuklama takes a big burst, as again does find them with that arrow. But now the tides have turned a little bit. 8 sticks, rather, going to be finding 2 off the back of it, making a triple as Osiris goes down again, however, avenging the rest of their team. But now it does seem like Atlas flooding onto point just a little bit. They need to play carefully here because they are not the perfect team quite yet. They are still missing a few.
They're going to get a nice freeze onto Dusk. The wall's able to keep him in place. The freeze locks him down, and that's really going to prevent any opportunity for a retake here from Team Money. If they've been able to back off there's a chance. So a big pick coming through from Lucid, and a nice start to this map by Atlas.
Yeah, certainly. This is kind of the shot in the arm that it's looking like Atlas needed. Kitty King take a little bit of early damage, but will be healed right back up by their compatriot in Flabberjack. And with this, a lot of shields getting burnt down rather quick. The Accretion Rock coming out from the side of Dusk, not really going to be landing too much damage. Again, popping that dragon right through the choke. That is an uncomfortable spot for the Mei, who is now kind of singled out. However, the Immortality Field going to be coming out from Roses, keeping everybody alive. That Mei wall from Osiris is going to be coming up, keeping that line of sight blocked for most of the healing. The Immortality Field, excuse me, and the Mei wall coming in, blocking the Baptiste window from the other side. Flabberjack not going to be able to find too much use there. But now we're seeing, again, kind of rotate to this upper position, trying to find something. Ducks out before they get pulled in by Phoenix, who then does drop the Supercharger as the cart continues to make progress through this choke. but right into a Sigma grab flux. The Sigma going to be the only one hit by it, but the Immort Field there to pull them out of any troubles they may have. Going to be responding with a Sigma grab flux of their own. Does drop Dusk right into the ground, but that is the only one. And we're going to be seeing the dragons come out, but right into the waiting arms of Kitty King as they transcend into the next realm. Nuklama getting some kills before getting dropped themselves, and despite a very scrappy and ult-based fight, it looks like Team Money might have it here.
Okay, catch your breath, my man, after that one. Good God, these fights just last forever right now. It takes so much, so many resources to push through a choke like this one at the moment, and Atlas still stuck on the attacker's side. They are going to be coming in here with a Blizzard to try and force Team Money back from the choke. In fact, the defenders already giving up that entryway.
Yeah, and again, the amplification window coming in, but blocked a little bit by the Mei wall. Looks like 3 of the members are going to be trying to go in through that little library shack area. Mei wall coming in to try to block them. Both Blizzards coming out, but Nuklama does have that Transcendence to keep everybody up as well. The Immort Field going to be going out, and both Blizzards drop, but it will be the side of Atlas who comes out dominant in this fight as kills are stacking up in their name. That card's going to continue to get progress, Shy Guy.
A beautiful heads-up play there from Lucid. He pulls out the wall, not to separate anybody from the rest of the team, but to cut off line of sight from the Immortality Field so that they could lock down a couple of kills of members that were caught in the Blizzard. Really smart play there from the Mei. Allows them to push through that choke, and now they need just one fight to finish off Point Beer here on King's Row.
Yeah, and again, going to be using the Dragons very early into this fight. The Halt trying to pull everybody in. It will just pull the Sigma and the Mei. Sigma does fall because of it, and Mikey going to be regretting using those cooldowns. And with that, it looks like an early loss for Atlas. They're just going to be backing out quick.
Yeah, they just have to turn tail and run and hope that no one gets picked off on the retreat. As soon as that fight gets underway, they never really have an opportunity, but they'll be okay with that. It's really just going to take one more fight to finish off this point. So they're still in a decent spot. They didn't use any ultimates in that engagement, so they'll have some tools to come back in here. That amplification matrix can be very dangerous if used right.
I'll certainly have to see if they can use it properly. An accretion right into a Halt, then followed in on the backup with a Hanzo Dragon. And we're going to be seeing the Transcendence pop from Kitty King as it's going to be Styx, who does drop the Immortality Field, now coming out from the side of Atlas. It doesn't seem to save Lucid, though, who drops by Osias. Looks like a couple of icicles to the chest will do that to it, the fellow Mei. And with that, it's going to have to be the back out here. Mikey trying to claim some kills, not going to quite be so successful yet. An Accretion Rock hitting him, some Halts coming in, and they do not want to let this fight go. The defense wants to continue pushing up and making this fight last as long as possible.
No, they know that they have the members alive to just keep the pressure up in that situation, so they smartly chase down those last couple of kills, stagger out the tanks on the side of Atlas, and really make that fight hurt for them. So this is going to start becoming pretty difficult for the attackers. They're running out of opportunities, and they haven't been able to get the executions that they're looking for recently.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the defense use that window once again to initiate the Immortality Field. A little bit of a precarious place, considering a lot of line of sight would have bought prevention of damage. Again, taking down Styx, Oasis taking down Lucid. We are looking at the Transcendence popped a little bit late into this fight, especially as 2 members fall from that Blizzard. It might be Nuklama who wants that ult back at the very end of this. Mikey, the last one to fall as everybody else pulls out.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal for Atlas right now. Not only are you losing these fights and losing so much time on the clock, but you're also falling behind in the ult economy game. When you're throwing out casually ultimates that aren't finding value, you're putting yourself in such a hole. They're only really going to have the 2 kind of damage amplification ults in the supercharger and the window, possibly that Blizzard in a minute.
Yeah, Atlas taking a different set of pathing right now. Phoenix taking down Osias early on means that Mei will not be able to section off, will not be able to freeze or lock anybody down. Phoenix taking down Aster. This is so far so good for Atlas. They continue to get the kills. This is exactly what they need. The question is, can they continue to deliver this cart? Flabberjack taken down by Mike, who's gone on a little bit of a tear in the kill feed. Kitty King getting the last kill perhaps for their team before dropping to Styx, and the cart continues to move. Can they get a contest here, Shy Guy?
I don't think so. I think the overtime timers or the death spawn times are probably going to be too much. They're going to be in position, actually. The Orisa and Mei especially can get back out here. They'll have the trans coming in from the rear to buy them some time.
Now we are going to be seeing that window open up from Rose is trying to keep everybody up, and Rose is actually taking down Aster. Forget healing, you can just do damage with that window. And that wall going to be coming in, preventing a lot of healing coming in from the Transcendence of Kitty King. Right now, the fight is so brawly on point, but it is going all in favor of Atlas. No drops on their end. And again, even trying to come in on the Tracer.
That was so smart there by the side of Atlas. They knew exactly what they were up against. They knew that the defense was coming, but they cut it off at its knees. They used the Blizzard early. They wall off the Transcendence from the couple of members at the front, and they enable themselves to take an easy fight there.
Yeah, certainly. And we are going to be seeing a hold at this corner here. Osai is taking down Phoenix. That's perhaps not the most optimal. You don't want to lose your tank when you're trying to gain ground. And that being said, they're exactly going to back off. And it's going to be Styx, who's the last one to get that memo, continually playing this poke game.
Yeah, the good news, though, for Atlas is that they are going to come into this with the ult economy advantage. They've got a lot of tools available and a couple more about to come online, but losing their Hanzo is just going to be a brutal stop right there.
Yeah, not the position you want to be in. And as the wall falls, Lucid getting hit with a rock to the dome. That being said, Styx going to be back on the line. Another halt coming in. No accretion combo quite yet. We're seeing it now again. T-Money leading a little bit with the chin here, trying to get a little bit more of a forward hold. If they can make it happen, Styx going to be dropping that dragon, providing just a little bit of space, a little bit of backup, but Aster going to be grabbing Lucid before that space comes in. And with that, they're going to be dropping Osiris's Blizzard right into the fight. But once again, Nuklama ready with the Transcendence. Not able to save their team, however. Styx going to be the only one getting any proficiency in the kill feed right now. Timer going to tick down, not even a chance for overtime. And just past second point, T-Money's going to hold.
And there, they just kind of flipped the script. What Atlas did to them on their recontested point B, they do to Atlas in that final fight. They drop the ultimates early. They get the Blizzard online just in time there. And they are able to clean up the fight, get a nice stop here on King's Row. Now they've set themselves a very, very doable win condition.
Yeah, I mean, first point I don't anticipate is going to be too tough for the offense. It's not necessarily extremely favorable for the Ori Sig as far as I've seen. So it's really going to come down to how well they can do their streets phase. If they're going to be losing a lot of time there, then they might start to be feeling the pressure. Otherwise, I agree, they have definitely set themselves a good pace.
Yeah, and as long as they can get through point B, you've got to feel really good about their chances. So, you know, the pressure is a little bit off of T-Money at this point, especially with the lead they already have in this series. That means they're going to be playing loose as they come into this attack round. And, you know, once again, no changes on the composition side of things for the side of Atlas. But I'm wondering, is this Bastion Symmetra real? It definitely could be. They could have some cheeky strats ready to go here on King's Row.
I would be beyond overjoyed here, Shy Guy, if we did see that. I've seen some instances where the Bastion gets teleported right to the top of that statue and just has free reign. Sigma shield will get torn down immediately, meaning that aerial shielding not going to be as much of a factor. We're just going to have to see as it rolls out.
They're out. They're out the doors. They're going for it.
Yeah, they're going to be locking in again on that Bastion. Looks like they're setting up for Osiris to be set up. It's going to exactly be on that upper area. The main wall lifting up again, going to be knocking them off of the statue there, but it doesn't stop them from continuing to push in. They're still going to have that aggression. Some sim turrets getting placed on the hotel, making it to where if the defense peaks even just a little bit, it's going to be very painful for them. We're trying to see right now, again, get position, try to take these upper areas, make sure that Bastion can really have a rain of bullets, and taking position on point is going to be T-Money. They are in a great spot. Those halts coming in, allowing again to get such value. Osiris even going to be taking down Styx on that Hanzo. Usually not too much of a problem if that Symmetra is able to get that Hanzo in range. Flabberjack even going to get the res onto Osiris. You can't let that happen if you're trying to prevent these high-value heroes from coming in. It's not looking great for the side of Atlas. T-Money going to be having giant grins on their faces right now.
Yeah, and who knew it wasn't necessarily the Bastion that does all the work there for T-Money. Osiris on the Symmetra coming through in the kill feed in a big way after the res brings him back into the fight, and they get through point A with ease. Now they've got the Bastion to set up on the cart. He's got a tank mode ready to go. They are sitting pretty at this point. Yeah,
a lot of ults online for this next fight for the side of T-Money. Almost all 6. exactly all 6 within 15%. They're going to be feeling really good about that. The cart also going to be pushing through that choke that is so difficult for some teams. Almost, well, exactly no contest in this instance. Instead, we're going to be seeing Atlas take a little bit farther of a hole.
Yeah, Mikey is alone on the flank right now. A little bit of a dangerous spot, but not one where he's getting a lot of value at this point.
Yeah, again, going to be mowing down Phoenix as expected. Bastion so good against tanks, and right now I'm amazed they're still running this Bastion, but I'm not amazed that they're finding the value with it after seeing first point again getting the triple off the quad off the back of that tank configuration right now. The cart's going to go through. This is pretty much going to be a no-stop streets phase for the side of T-Money.
That was such a bizarre defense from Atlas there. They kind of split themselves up entirely as they tried to take that fight, and it doesn't work out for them at all. Eventually they get collapsed on by the tank mode from again. Now he's up on the high ground with the immortality field. He's got that Symmetra shield in front of him to keep him alive, and you know there's just no answer right now from Atlas.
Yeah, I do like what Atlas is doing right now, though. They are trying to play indoors where that Bastion doesn't have as much reach, but again, just going to drop down and mow down Nuke Llama. Not even going to be giving that Zenyatta the chance to transcend here. Both Sigma Gravflex is going to be moving, or going to be on the field, rather. The Immort field coming out, but quickly taken down. Osias continues to find that value in the kill feed, that is, until Styx puts him down the good old-fashioned way. Even the support's getting cheeky in the kill feed as Styx drops the Flabberjack.
Nuke Llama in with the saddest transcendence you'll ever see. Not gonna do anything at all. And Atlas gonna find themselves down 2-0 after they just get steamrolled by the Bastion.
Yeah, that was kind of a grim prospect for Atlas to just be so aggressively steam trained by that composition that I don't think has been that predominantly seen in a very long time here on King's Row.
Yeah, no, that's not normal. That's not something that necessarily should be happening. And you know, it's one of those things where if you roll out with the Bastion like that, you are either going to kind of get dumpstered on your first fight and have to go back and, you know, tuck your tail in shame, change the comp completely, or you are going to just destroy the opposition. And that the latter is what we saw here today from Team Money. They executed, I would say, fairly well. It wasn't perfect. You know, Atlas did a decent job, at least on first point, of like every time the Bastion teleported, they were greeting him with something, whether it was the Maywall to shut him out or the accretion to stun him up. They just were never able to really deal with the threat completely, and eventually it comes back to bite them.
Yeah, it certainly did seem like that. Now, Shy Guy, do you think, I mean, I'm going to ask you to speculate on behalf of the teams here. I mean, but just roll with me.
Okay.
Do you think that T-Money did that Bastion comp because it was a strat that they had planned, that they were willing to execute to a top tier, or that they just had so little faith in Atlas being able to counter it?
I kind of feel like it's gonna be a little bit of both. I think it's one of those things that you try occasionally in scrims, but I don't think it's ever gonna be your first, you know, line of defense necessarily. But I think they were entirely comfortable going into this attack round. I think they had no doubt in their minds that they were winning this no matter what, and they could try some stuff that you might not necessarily normally do. In worst case scenario, you go back, you swap to a composition that you have real confidence in, that you think you are straight up better than the other team at. So I would guess that's the case, but who knows? Maybe we'll get the chance to interview them after, potentially talk to see what was going on in their heads at that moment.
Which is a very good segue into my reminder to not forget to have those votes for the MVP ready in the bottom, I believe it's bottom right of the chat, folks. Let us know who you think is popping off, who you want to hear from, more importantly, because at the end, we will be interviewing you guys' voted MVPs. We're looking forward to it. I know I am. I'm pretty sure Shy Guy is. And I just want to know who you guys think is popping off in there.
Yeah, though if our games last week are any indication, we're going to be perhaps interviewing someone from the losing team. So, you know, Atlas on that path right now. We'll just have to see if they can make a comeback, though. We're going to be headed to Lijiang Tower. So we're back to control here. I would say relatively they did better on control than they did there on King's Row. So that's the bright side, but still, I have to think Atlas with their backs against the wall, not in the position they wanted to be in earlier tonight.
Yeah, the only exception I can see is if Atlas has some sort of creative strat for Lijiang, maybe something along the lines of Night Market and Garden. I think those are maps where you can kind of see things shake up quite a bit in terms of composition and what's doable, what's usable here, aside from just the Hanzo, Mei, Sig, Ori, Resident Sleeper kind of compositions that we've been seeing so much lately. I mean, I'm always going to hype up any map that can play Pharah really well. But even still, I think we've been seeing a little bit of Tracer come out on those maps every once in a while, Wrecking Ball as well. There's some potential there.
Right, and I can't help but feel like it would be slightly disappointing to just see a team come in, play pretty much the meta on all three maps, and just bow out of the competition with not a huge fight, which so far has kind of been the case for Atlas, though they are showing some different picks. I'm not getting too excited just yet. Both sides giving us a taste of what could be in a more diverse DPS meta, but we'll see if any of that is actually real.
I certainly hope so. Pharah has been seen a little bit more predominantly, particularly yesterday. We saw quite a bit of her, and it looks like Styx going to be rolling out on that Pharah, going to be having Nuke Llama in their pocket, ready to keep them healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yeah, but the other side, the Genji, Soldier 76, the two greatest hero or DPS heroes in the game, according to the Overwatch devs, are in play.
This is truly exciting. Curious how Osiris is going to be finding that value. Lucid finding value by immediately taking down at Kitty King. Phoenix in similar taking down that hit scan, meaning that Styx going to have a little bit more free reign up in the air, not having to worry about too much hit scan there. And immediately finding some value off the back of the kill onto Aster. And with that, now we're seeing Atlas start to get some value here, coming in with the first capture.
Indeed, they showing a little bit of signs of life right now. The Pharah making it work on the side of Styx, and Rose is already up to that amplification matrix for this next fight.
Yeah, already finding some great value. And we're seeing this Genji continue to poke. Flabberjack perhaps trying to set up for that Nano Blade as well. The anti-nade going on to Roses and Lucid gets them dangerously low, but does not quite find the kill onto either of them. Instead, it will be Styx finding Flabberjack and Kitty King finding Mikey. And now it looks like a flow of manpower going to be coming in from T-Money on the point. A little bit of contest coming through from this Tracer. Lucid getting dinked once by the Orisa and dropped.
And there's the thing about running that Far Mercy is once you lose like one member in that frontline fight, the rest cannot really conceivably hang on with the Pharah kind of hovering outside of the point. And that's what we see there. Team Money just kind of surge onto the point as soon as they get that first kill. They take over and they turn things around. Now they're going to be absolutely loaded in terms of the ultimate economy coming into this next fight.
Yeah, we might be keeping an eye out for this Dragon Blade coming in. Osiris going to be having it. They're going to pop it exactly in that fashion. Takes down the Pharmacy combo. A few kills going in favor of Atlas. Not too much. Osiris gets hung up on taking down that Immortality field. Going to drop because of it. Those mines coming out from Phoenix right now. And ults popping all over the place. Again, using that tack visor. Kitty can get taken down by a pulse bomb. This is looking very messy, but Atlas not quite able to get it the point flipped over just yet. It will be that Sigma holding out as the last bastion of hope.
Oh god, why use the Gravitic Flux? The rest of the team gonna be able to get back in here. Osiris in at least to buy some more time, but I'm not sure about that ult commitment. They are streaming on one by one and buying a little bit of time here.
Yeah, Aster going to be knocked near the edge of the map by the Wrecking Ball in Phoenix. Phoenix taking them down, but again, this has been some incredible stall actually coming through from the side of T-Money. They've been just getting man after man on point, and the moments they need it, Flabberjack going to be ejected quickly from the point via a grappling hook, or rather the Wrecking Ball attached to the grappling hook, and with that, the point will finally flip for Atlas.
Okay, I might be wrong. If the Gravitic Flux was what they needed to buy that 20-30% that they just got, so be it. You take that every day, especially with Dusk making the swap over to a Wrecking Ball of his own. They're going full dive now with the Winston and again making the swap back to the Soldier 76.
Yeah, and Sticks rather going to be having that rocket barrage online. Not sure if we're going to be seeing them use it immediately into this fight. They are located pretty far off. Usually want to get a little bit closer for those rocket barrages. But it looks like, again, trying to get their number, but instead it's going to be Sticks finding their number. The Genji also trying to poke down this pharmacy combo, not quite able to find it though, and because of that, the DPS, too busy being dead and occupied by the Pharah, allows the front line, or the ground line rather, of Team Money to just get cleaned up. Atlas is going to continue to hold this point, it seems, with just one lone wrecking ball on point, quickly cleaned up.
Okay, I kind of think we're seeing why you don't see much dive anymore. It's not working out so well for the side of Team Money at the moment. I commend them for trying, but it's about to cost them this sub-map if they can't win this fight.
Yeah, and it's going to be questionable here as there are a lot of ults coming online for the side of Lucid. A double kill off the back of that rocket barrage from Sticks, getting some massive value on that Pharah. However, there are still a few members to clean up. We're going to be seeing the mines come out from the side of Dusk. However, Sticks probably able to clean up that point rather quickly. Mines don't really matter if there's nobody on point to contest, however, and as Flabberjack falls, that's going to be the exact case here. Atlas taking this point, almost that is, until a Primal Winston comes on the point, ready to just rip and punch through this team. Speaking of ripping, we're going to be seeing the Genji Dragon Blade come out, taking down Sticks. Not going to quite be enough though, especially as Sticks gets res. Again, trying to come in on the Reaper, not going to quite find it.
All right, so Atlas, the first step to the comeback has been taken. They had to get around here on Lijiang Tower. They've got one. We'll see if they can get more. And we'll see if Team Money continue with the shenanigans. I think the playtime might be over, as indeed the Orisa Sigma back on the field. They mean business this time.
It's the gloves have come off. It might it might be a wrecking ball. I can be hopeful for this.
Okay, that's still a real composition though.
Yes,
so
yes.
like that they're just kind of mirroring what they see on the other side, except again going to be picking up that McCree wants a little bit more ability to stun someone up, perhaps, especially Lucid, who was kind of wreaking havoc on the Tracer.
Oh, and we're going to be seeing, yeah, the McCree, the switch onto Osiris's Pharah right now might be the difference here. A lot of pressure going to be going onto Sticks in the air. Can they make it happen, though, is the question. They need to find that ground fight value before they can get too much done. And a concussion blast onto, again, going to be taking down that McCree player by Sticks. And right now, kills looking very even. Roses dropping again, and Lucid getting the kill onto Dusk. And despite the res, Flabberjack going to be an open target for just some good old-fashioned focus fire coming in. And nobody even really focusing on point right now. They're just focusing on winning this fight. And it looks like Dusk and Lucid have a little bit of a scrim right now, but the rest of their team going to be coming in to help them. And with that, the point will be flipping over to Atlas, and it looks like finally this first fight might come to a close.
Yeah, indeed it will, and yet again, kind of more changes coming through for Team Money. Again, picking up the Sombra now. We saw this very briefly there on Gardens, didn't ever really come to fruition. Now trying to avoid getting spotted out in the stealth mode as he looks for an angle to get a nice hack off.
Yeah, might be trying to find that Pharah, make him a little bit more of a ground-based target. Does throw down the translocator, hacks onto Phoenix, who doesn't really get focused down as much as you might like for a wrecking ball that's been hacked. And right now we're seeing some good old-fashioned spin to win play coming from Aster. Not my most favorite type of wrecking ball play, but we're still going to see it go up here. And again, getting those kills with that SMG, exactly what they needed. It looks like the fight is starting to tip in favor of Team Money. And did I say tip? I mean the entire bowl is pouring over.
Yeah, it just comes through in a flood there as they regain control, and they do it with relatively little investment. It's just the minefield committed by Aster, so now they'll be building up, as this fight continues, perhaps to that first EMP. They're in a pretty solid position, especially when you look at the swaps that just came through for the side of Atlas. That one working out though. Lucid with a big pick forces out the res.
Yeah, going to be getting that res out of Flabberjack, and again, doing a little bit of damage to Lucid in the back, ready to just pester that McCree, make sure he can't get that flashbang stand at a reasonable range. We're going to be seeing the supercharger come out from Mikey, but it gets taken down rather quickly by Dusk and company. Oasis focusing down the main tank quickly after that. However, the res coming back on the Mikey, suddenly things are looking a little bit more favorable for the side of Atlas, especially with Flabberjack going down, a lot of healing gone. Phoenix getting hacked, but might not mind that if their team ends up winning this fight. Dusk taken down by a few shots from the Peacekeeper with Lucid. The EMP going out, going to be landing on the Lucid, Mikey, and Nuke Llama. Doesn't seem like there was quite enough gas in the tank for Atlas to take this just yet. They are going to be getting a few toes on the point with that McCree and the Mercy. The Wrecking Ball coming in from the other side as well. And the Rocket Barrage coming in, hitting Oasis in the back of the head with a standard rocket. Going to be enough for the side of Atlas to flip. They're going to be even getting the res, keeping their men on the field as they need to right now. Kitty King can be brought back up in a similar fashion, but it might not be enough. It looks like Team Money is really suffering for manpower here, Shy Guy.
Yeah, they thought they could stick around and keep fighting that even at a disadvantage, and pretty much as soon as they all get back, they all get deleted. Here on Night Market, the EMP doesn't really do a whole lot, and that's the big ultimate in this composition. That's their huge engagement tool, and when they're not winning fights off of that, they're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. Lucid popping that high noon to take down the pharmacy combo. We gotta be finding the Pharaoh with the high noon, taking down the Mercy to complement, saying, don't worry, your combo's not going away, it's just going back to spawn. And with this, it looks like the side of Team Money trying to really get a last-minute contest. The Wrecking Ball coming in, trying to get some damage in, trying to get some displacement, but doesn't quite find it. Will drop those mines, however. Phoenix going to be taking down Kitty King, and those mines are going to be proving a real hassle for the side of Atlas to get back onto point. Can they make it happen? And not if Astra has anything to say about it. That Wrecking Ball going to be finding 2 kills, one of course with the mine. The Baptiste getting brought back up. Can it be enough? It certainly might, as Osias gets dropped by a couple shots from that 3-round burst. Point going to be flipped over to the side of Team Money, but Atlas certainly won't mind if they can win this fight and retake the point.
Yeah, as long as they win this fight, they're fine. They're going to commit the supercharger to try and do it. Both Wrecking Balls spinning around the point. Phoenix able to deal with the immortality field, and now it's free reign, just chaos between all these teams on the point.
Yeah, Dusk going to be taken down. It is just the Wrecking Ball and Tracer on point. It doesn't look like they're quite able to lock it down. Stick's going to be taking down Oasis, and now the mine's coming out from the opposing side.
There it is.
Not quite able to stop quick enough. Going to run into those mines. Point getting flipped.
Okay, it was a risky proposition by the side of Atlas. They needed to win this next fight. They back off just long enough to regroup. They come back in with firepower. They're able to do it, and it looks like they're going to force us to a map 4.
Yeah, Lucid playing real careful around this Tracer, trying to find those kills. Kitty King going to be taking a quick stun as well. It will be everybody cleaned up off the point with only a few trying to get back. They won't be able to pull it. Atlas going to be finally coming back with a little bit of life here, Shy Guy.
Okay, they avoid the dishonor of going out of the tournament with 2 straight 0-3 losses. They get at least a map here tonight. We'll see if they can keep up the momentum, but a good start for them here. They open things up. They make some changes. They go over to a very different style of play with the Wrecking Ball here. They bring the Pharah out as well, and they're able to make it work on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and man, that was an exciting last round there on Lijiang, on Gardens. Not quite sure if I knew the way it was going to turn out throughout 80% of that match. It was nail biting in the almost literal sense.
Yeah, I mean, give me more of that, both in terms of how close that map was, but just in terms of what we saw from both of these two teams, willing to go outside the confines of the meta a little bit. I'm questioning whether we're going to continue to see stuff like that out of Team Money. I imagine now that they have lost one map, it's time for them to really buckle down. They're going to have map choice here, which means that they get to take us somewhere comfortable, which means they get to kind of cater to what they're good at, which so far has kind of been that standard meta composition where you're playing the Orisa Sigma, you're playing the Hanzo Mei, and you're just kind of grinding out these fights.
Yeah, and right now we do have Atlas up at bat for the ban phase. Going to be seeing if they have anything in particular they want to get rid of, or might just get rid of their most uncomfortable map. I don't know what their thought process is necessarily going to be here. I know there's a lot of deliberation going on amongst the teams, though.
No, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I were Atlas. I'd want to get rid of perhaps a 2 CP map like Temple of Anubis would be a decent choice, or Rialto, I think, is another one that would work well for them, just because I think they want to avoid those King's Row type of maps where you're fighting in close quarters, where I think Team Money is gonna be absolutely at their best. So that's what I would be banning if I were them. But they take away Volskaya, and Hollywood looks like it's gonna be the pick for map number 4.
Yeah, Team Money going to be electing for that Hollywood, taking the director all the way to the Hollywood studio, ready to get going here as soon as these teams get ready. Give us the go signal before we get started once again. Possibly the final reminder that we will be having the MVP join us in the casters booth at the very end. So make sure you throw it in those MVP votes in the bottom of the chat. Let us know what you think is popping off here as well. If you're feeling so kind, be sure to throw us those social media endorsements. I'm talking Twitch, I'm talking Twitter, I'm talking if you want to pop in the Discord. We'd love to have you. Me and Shy Guy love seeing those members grow and those numbers go up.
Yeah, the YouTube is really popping off right now. Just hit 100 followers earlier today, so we're doing big things. And if you appreciate what's happening here at Star Esports, be sure to join us at all of those platforms. But as we look towards map 4, I'm encouraged by what we saw there out of Atlas. I was worried that we were in for a really quick series here tonight, but they showed us some spark, and they show us that they have something left in the tank. Just now, can they keep up that momentum? Now that I think they've at least kind of woken up their opposition. They've made them kind of take stock of what's happening and really buckle down as we enter the final map.
Yeah, I'm hopeful we'll see something kind of new here. It's kind of up in the air to me. I haven't seen enough Hollywood in this tournament to really feel confident in saying this is definitely going to happen. I think that the teams, I would anticipate Sigurissa at some point in the map. I think that's still going to obviously be a very safe pick, but other than that, it's anybody's guess for this caster.
Yeah, I think at least from Team Money, I fully expect them to go back to what has been working for them. Orisa Sigma, Hanzo May, bring me the Batiste and the Zenyatta in play. Especially on the defense, they are going to start out on the attack, so there's perhaps a little bit of change there, but I don't think we're really going to be seeing anything outside the box. We're not going to be seeing any more dive, at least.
Yeah, sad to face for that. However, the Reaper coming out is something at least a little bit refreshing. It reminds me of the metas of old with the May Reaper coming online. But hey, it's something new. I look forward to, well, relatively new. I don't want to speak too liberally here. But yeah, I like the Reaper. We're going to be seeing, of course, the Lucio instead of the Zen. That is common for the Baptiste pairing.
Yeah, I do like this just because it signals that they are going to be playing aggressively. You need to get that Reaper into position and into the thick of things in a fight, so they're not just going to be kind of sitting back and playing these poke compositions that so far have been Team Money's game plan. So I do at least like that swap.
Yeah, we'll have to certainly see if it can find value. And already Dusk throwing out their shield, going to be having it broken immediately. And from the wings, Stick's going to be popping in. Does get pushed back quite a little bit, though. Has to use that Wraith form just to get out. The free is going to be going on to Dusk. He doesn't really get punished for it. Doesn't take a whole lot of damage at all. Rose's immortality field going down rather quickly. And we see on the high ground, again, just trying to take advantage. It's a poke onto the point. Mikey taking down Flabberjack, though. It doesn't look like that high ground is doing much for this side of Team Money. Atlas going to be getting a dominant first win here.
Yeah, and Team Money really forced in that fight to use all of their cooldowns incredibly defensively to try and save members of their team. For example, the wall comes out to try and save Dusk, who was frozen up in that fight, and they just aren't able to get any force behind their push, and eventually Styx comes around on the flank and really crushes their dreams on this one. So we'll see if they can reset, make something happen. Indeed they do.
Yeah, and certainly Mikey going to be perhaps playing a little too up top, gets Accretion grabbed and a little bit of damage to follow up, and with this it looks like the side of Team Money going to be able to push through, again taken down by Lucid, but they are still man up here. Just waiting for this May wall to drop. That back window going to be coming out, meaning every member of the team going to be able to get damage before they push through and get increased healing. and Lucid the last one on point to try to contest, and it looks like Atlas going a little bit belly up here, that Orisa trying to play off the high ground. Dusk just cleaning up though. The Dragon's coming in from across point. Not sure it was necessary, but it will help to ensure the fight. And that is at least until a few more kills coming in from Atlas, including the sound barrier. But now Oasis dropping that Blizzard, keeping everybody locked down. It looks like this might be it.
Yeah, and the difference in that fight is gonna wind up being the Maze, but still Styx, he's in the back line, he's on the tanks, he's taking down 2.
Oh my goodness, and that is enough time for the rest of the side of Atlas to come back onto the field, including tanks. The Orisa gonna be there. Despite Kitty King trying their best, they're not gonna make it.
And that is pretty backbreaking right there for Team Money. They commit so much in that fight, and even making some swaps towards the tail end. They were trying to get back to the fight quickly, but it's not going to happen. So Flabberjack can again lose their ultimate charge, and now they're reset to square one. They don't even get a tick.
Yeah, not even the tick. Styx are really going to take down Flabberjack, meaning no Immort Field on the field, but neither is Styx as they get taken down by what I imagine is a barrage from Kitty King here. And we can see this high ground continuing to be fought against by Sigma Shield, just getting posted up. Both superchargers going to be coming out. Phoenix and Aster both deeming it necessary. Again, however, going to be finding the true value with that Discord Orb and the supercharger. And with that, the kills finally look like they're going to completely solidify for the side of Team Money. They're going to get it their second and third push.
Yeah, Styx going down really kind of takes the knees out of the defensive composition for the side of Atlas. They really relied on him in that first defense to hang on, and as soon as he's gone, they don't have the damage to really sustain through that ensuing fight. And now they're gonna have to come back in for the point B defense, but they're up here aggressively. They're using the Amp Matrix early.
Yeah, we did hear what sounded like the Baptiste window coming out, and in fact it did. Again, getting a lot of damage, as is Osias, and with that, it's going to be that gong for the team wipe.
Ooh, and that is just beautiful stuff there. Osias dropping the Blizzard. It's all they really need to win that fight, especially when they've got, again, uncontested on the high ground. Atlas going to have a response for that. They can't just let him sit up there and free fire into their team.
Yeah, Styx does have that Death Blossom. We'll have to see if they can execute it, though, especially as this is a risky Shadow Step as they try to take that high ground, forcing again off of it. And it looks like Styx trying to dive on to Kitty King, going to take down that Zenyatta, and the Death Blossom coming in from behind, gets 2 with it, and going into raid form, closing the kill onto the Mei and the Orisa. With that, it's going to be now the team kill coming in from Atlas.
I kind of have to wonder what Team Money is doing there. They know that Styx is up on the high ground. He was just fighting Flabberjack up there. He drops down into the backline on Kitty King, and there's just no response from the rest of the team. They leave their Zenyatta out to dry, and he's in their backline without much of an answer. They can't let that happen. It's going to bite them if this series continues. And now we're looking at a potential defense here on Hollywood Point B.
Yeah, we're even going to be seeing the swap again going on to the McCree, perhaps to deal with a little bit of flashbang on to that Reaper. The Halt coming in, no Accretion Rock to combo with it from the defense right now, but they are just working on breaking down those shields, perhaps getting a little bit of poke build up those ults since they are potentially so crucial here. Speaking of ults, Lucid going to be dropping that Blizzard in right into the enemy team, but it will be Kitty King trying to keep their team alive and not going to be so successful. However, again taking down Lucid, but it does not seem to be quite enough, as it will just be Aster, the one left standing for the offense.
Yeah, I mean, the Transcendence is one of those ultimates that we like to think of as like you press this to save your team through pretty much anything. It's hard to kill through Transcendence, but when you've got the Blizzard on top of it and nobody is moving at all, the focus fire is too easy for a coordinated team. It can't really save any of his teammates, so they will lose that fight. And now we're down to 30 seconds remaining for Team Money.
Yeah, Team Money really has the opportunity here. We're going to be hearing that Bongo go down. Aster dropping it, getting the team the damage they need to get 3 kills off the back end. And with that, it looks like they might have just broken it here, waiting for that Mei to defrost. As soon as she does, the cart continues to make progress.
Yeah, will it just cruise into the finish line here at Point B is my question. There's going to be an opportunity for Atlas to try to get back out here, but it's going to be tough, though. They're pushing through these chokes, all locked down, and everybody focusing on them. The wall is beautiful.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing some contests come in from Styx. Not quite enough, though, as they get taken down rather quickly. Again, with the double kill off the back of that High Noon, a quick cleanup for a quick defense.
Yeah, it was a decent attempt there, but they have to commit the supercharger to try to get out there. That doesn't work out in their favor, so it's looking pretty strong here for Team Money. We'll see if they can actually finish the map now. Only going to have a minute to work with. The defense is slowly just whittling down this time bank, and now it really gets put to the test.
Yeah, this is going to be the real challenge for the side of Team Money. If they can make it work, they will certainly be in a great spot. And Blizzard coming out, the May wall coming in, separating the Baptiste, the Immortality Field not able to find so much value because of it. Again, just getting a couple doinks onto the opposing team, able to get to the kills to come through. Kitty King as well. It will just be the Reaper left standing. He doesn't want to get killed this late into the game, and is going to Wraith step out.
Ooh, that is just barely making out by the skin of his teeth. That's going to be crucial as they try to get back in here for the last second re-engage. Phoenix on the Reinhardt, the Wrecking Ball in play as well.
Yeah, and it looks like the Grab Flux going to be coming in from Dusk. Doesn't get any kills off the back of it. The Death Blossom coming in, however, this time it doesn't find as much value as they need it to. The Blizzard coming in this time right at the tail end of the Transcendence. The only one getting frozen is Aster and Flabberjack. However, neither of them really get focus fired down. Flabberjack, because of that, going to be able to drop the window. Kitty King getting that massive value. The High Noon dropped in the back. Not going to spell great times for Atlas, and with just a Reinhardt and a Doomfist on the point, it looks like the side of Team Money going to be taking it all the way to third.
And that is tough to see for Atlas there. They were doing so well through 2 points of the defense, you know, on the verge of getting a hold there at point B, and then you know, as soon as it gets into this final phase, they completely break down. There's nothing they can do to stop the momentum coming through for Team Money, who now have an opportunity to close out this series. They messed around a little bit on Lijiang Tower, but now here on Hollywood, they are ready to go. They want this to be over, and they are looking to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this is at this point, it seems not a question of can Team Money win this. It's how fast will they be able to win this, or how much distance will they be able to prevent. There is still a very possible opportunity for Atlas. It's just they're going to have to try to do it with a better time, or any time on the clock, that is, to get to the third point. It can be rather tough on Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, the ideal situation for them is, you know, if you can somehow storm through the map, finish with over a minute left. You know, that's still a possibility here. I don't want to act like this is over by any means for Atlas, but you've got to feel a little bit demoralized, especially after those last two fights, which were just so clinical from the side of Team Money. They really look like they are back on their game, and we're seeing some, I don't want to call them like desperation picks out from Atlas right now, but they're going to stuff that I think they probably know is suboptimal right now, just to try and mix things up, go back to what worked for them on Lijiang Tower, and break out this Pharah.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a little bit of scouting come out from Lucid just to get the composition locked under, and we're actually going to be seeing Styx on the Pharah, Lucid on that Tracer. I really like this combination. Styx able to use that concussive blast to try to knock people off of that high ground. It can be very valuable at times, but they're going to be doing a little bit of poke damage onto Styx, seeing if he can get that damage and perhaps avoid some himself. Not quite so successful yet, as we do see that Pharah slowly climbing an ult charge. However, it looks like the fight's going to really be happening in Cafe here. Lucid trying to just dance around, playing a very dangerous game of backline. It gets burst down by Kitty King, who has that Discord Orb on them, ready to just pretty much 1v1 that Tracer, saying Zenyatta's will not be oppressed anymore.
Well, so far, just no one on the side of Atlas has really put any pressure on the rest of the team. It's only been, you know, Lucid in the backline really making them sweat it all, so they've been able to devote all their attention to it, and he is not having a good time right now. Again, on the other hand, is just gliding up the kill feed.
Yeah, again and again and again in the kill feed, it is again. We are seeing just that Hanzo take some really good angles. There's not as much shielding with that Wrecking Ball as compared to the Sigma. And this being said, they're going to be trying to, looks like they're taking their time, really trying to consider the pushes. And early Immort field coming out, perhaps trying to peek through that media room, that security room rather. And with that, Flabberjack going to be dropping that immortality field. Kitty King continuing to get kills. This Zenyatta does not want to stop the murder.
No, not at all. I mean, firing through that amplification matrix, and again, just pumping out insane amounts of damage right now. No one can really poke their head around a corner without that Orisa shield there to keep them alive, or it's gonna be trouble for Atlas. They're now, half their time is gone, and they haven't really even sniffed the point.
Yeah, it is tough. Stick's going to be dropped. We're going to be seeing the Transcendence come out. Not sure that Kitty King needed to use it, but they're still probably going to be feeling pretty confident. And because of that, we're going to be seeing a very aggressive move forward from the side of Team Money. The Blizzard coming out just to lock down the few members in this alleyway. Not sure it was necessary, but I think they have the confidence in them.
Yeah, I mean, the Transcendence there was committed just because of a halt on the side of Mikey, who pulled Kitty King off the high ground. And, at that point, Team Money, they just kind of make lemonade out of their lemons. They go in aggressively off the back of that. They force them into an awkward position and follow up with the winning Blizzard. So things starting to get real desperate here for Atlas. They've swapped back over to the Hanzo and the Sigma of their own. They look a little bit lost.
Yeah, Phoenix stepping a toe out of that immortality field, and because of that, they're going to be taken down by that dragon. Nuklama getting lifted up by the grab, gets taken down. That is a valuable loss in that Valking Mercy. Kills continuing to go in favor of Team Money. Six going to be finding Kitty, but not for long. It looks like there's still going to be continued stranglehold by Team Money.
They have just seized absolute control of this map right now. Even if Atlas gets through point A, which they have a chance now that they've gotten this opening pick. They've got a little bit of an opening at least. But even if they get this, they're going to have a mountain to climb if they want to stay alive.
They really will. The time bank will not be in their favor. However, they have one more push, and we're going to be seeing Mikey get separated by Maywall. And dropping that supercharger, it finds literally nothing. And with this, the Tracer just in the backline, trying to have a little bit of fun, forcing out that immortality field. Kitty King taking down Lucid. This is looking to be the death knells for the offense here. Nuklama, the only one getting any kills in this fight. It's not going to be enough. That overtime is going to burn down after this Wrecking Ball comes in. And with that, you gotta think that it's not going to be great for Atlas. Team Money going to be taking it here with the GGs after overtime.
Yeah, they come away with the 3-1 victory after a little bit of shenanigans on Lijiang Tower. They really show up here on Hollywood to show us who the better team throughout this series was. They really, just dominate the last map in such convincing fashion. Really impressive showing from them here tonight, and they deserve to move on in this tournament. Unfortunately for Atlas, this is going to be the end of the road. They drop out after the 3-1 loss. We thank them for their participation, but this is going to be goodbye.
Yeah, unfortunately, as most teams in this tournament, our time with them will have to come to an end. Team Money going to be continuing up the losers bracket. Going to be excited to see them moving forward, as we talked about that kind of clinical gameplay we saw a little bit on the back end of Hollywood. And while we have a moment, guys, we are closing out this game, so there is the last opportunity to get your MVP votes in before we bring in our special casting guest. And let us know who you think is popping off and who you want to hear from. Although I'm pretty sure the chat is pretty one-sided on this.
Yeah, I mean that's often how it goes, but we'll get those results here in just a moment. Let's talk about who would you pick for the MVP here tonight?
I don't know if this will be a popular call, because I know that we have some name brands in the game. But I like Styx purely because I like seeing the Pharah. If you play Pharah, you get like a 90% curve on your MVP test for Waltham. So for me, I gotta say I like the most consistent Pharah player, or the player who played Pharah most consistently would probably be the better way to phrase that. What about yourself, Shy Guy?
See, for me, my test, the one that bumps you way up is if you break out a really good Zenyatta. I'm just in love immediately. I love me some good flex support play. So Kitty King probably getting my vote again. Also, I think a fantastic option, but you know, we've got a lot of good players here in this series tonight, and I think you know it's hard to single anyone out right now, and you know we'll just see who it's gonna be in just a moment.
Yeah, I think we are just waiting on our production team to let us know who is going to be hopping in the chat with us so they can answer a couple of our goofy questions. Now, Shy Guy, if you had to describe this match in, let's say, one word, one feels like a good number, how would you describe it with that one word?
Let's see. It was I don't want to say this, but it was kind of, I don't want to say disappointing, but I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to explain myself a little bit. Not because of the quality of play, because I think these two teams came in here and put on a good match. Don't get me wrong. I think we had an entertaining series on our hand. I am disappointed more in what this series kind of tells me about Overwatch right now, in the sense that, you know, we had one map where everything was glorious, everything was beautiful, everyone went crazy off the wall picks, and it was fun to watch. And then we got back, and it just felt like, you know, Team Money, they just kind of strangled the life out of Atlas over the course of this series. So let's go with something a little bit more descriptive. Let's just say like constricting, because I feel like Overwatch is very much kind of in a box right now, and if you go outside that box, you're gonna have a bad time, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, so far that's kind of been what we've been seeing throughout this tournament. That and, you know, whenever two teams do go Sig, Ori, against each other, it's whoever has the better halts, whoever can coordinate that kind of stuff better. But as it looks like our production is finally done tallying up all those votes, to perhaps nobody's surprise who's been watching the Twitch chat, it's going to be Osias coming in here in just a little bit. So they will be joining us in just a minute as we get all those permissions set up. And Shy Guy, I can't say I'm too surprised. I definitely thought there was some solid play coming out of Osias earlier.
No, for sure. I mean, the May play, I think, on the side of Team Money was fantastic from start to finish, and it was, you know, always a pleasure to watch. There was never kind of a wasted blizzard when it came to Osias. So, you know, I think that's a very worthy pick here, and he set up a lot of plays for his team here tonight.
Yeah, certainly seemed to be the case here. Looks like we might be having a little bit, just a tiny bit of trouble getting them in, but they will be in shortly, I am fairly sure. And while we have the moment, you know, while we have this natural breath in the conversation, Shy Guy, I do want to take you guys, or give you guys one final reminder to hit those endorsements, the social medias, the follows, the likes, the whatever other social medias I'm not great at using myself exist out there. We love seeing you guys. We love seeing the communities grow, and we love showing the players the support and getting them that exposure. But I don't think you guys would have heard the sound. Osias is going to be hopping into chat with us right now. Osias, how are you feeling?
Yo, what's good? I'm feeling great.
Fantastic, my man. It sounds like you're enjoying a nice snack of some chips, maybe some pretzels over there. I dig it.
I'm eating hot Cheetos because I was quite hungry. I came from school and I didn't eat at all, so.
Well, that is truly putting in the grind there, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you got to get that victory snack in. I'm sure, you know, that match probably took a lot out of you. I would imagine. You know, you know what? I want to talk a little bit about Lijiang Tower, and you know, you guys tried to run several different compositions. The kind of divier looks there weren't really working out for you. You know, is that something that you would ever try in a series that you are not up 2-0?
Yes. We're just trying to get the Genji Soldierman rate done, because, you know.
Too good?
Yeah.
I mean,
too high.
Fair. That's definitely fair. You're doing your part, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, certainly got to get those numbers back in line as they are. Now, I saw a lot of a decent amount of May play coming out. I'd say it's a lot considering the history of May. Who's your favorite DPS to play, and why is it not May? Please tell me it's not May.
Well, I like to play Genji.
Okay.
I used to be a Genji watcher actually, but since meta kind of fucks it up. But like now, I like to play Widow. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, do you think that you can ever? Do you think there's ever an instance where we might expect to see your widow kind of pop out on chat or pop out on any of our maps here coming up?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, I certainly think we are going to be looking to see that moving in the future. I think we're about ready to wrap it up here. However, Osias,
Okay.
thanks a ton for coming in and answering our
Thank
questions
you.
for us. And
Okay.
with that, Shy Guy, I think we are about ready to wrap it up as well for your casting entertainment. I have been Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitch or Twitter at Sir Waltham.
And you can catch me on Twitter at ShyGuyOW. Follow me for any and all things casting, writing, whatever is going on in my life. And it's been a pleasure casting with you tonight, Sir Waltham.
And likewise, Shy Guy. And from all of us here at the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you guys have a great night and you stay safe out there, everybody.